Hi, this is Jeff Blauette, technical agronomist with Cooperative Farmers Elevator, and on this week's Field Friday segment, I thought I'd touch on the ramifications of what this week's weather has done to our crop. Obviously, we had some record-setting temperatures and heat this week, so what's that doing to our crop? I guess on soybeans first, we had the optimism. We had that nice rain here recently, an area-wide, pretty good soaker, first one we've had in a long time. We added another cluster of flowers on a lot of these beans. We added some rapid growth and development on the pods we did have through the fill of those on the bottoms of the plants. We're hoping to continue that up and down the plant with some added yield potential. And I do think we added some yield with that rain, but I think we gave some of that away with this heat this week. Soybeans don't really stress the same way corn does. But one of the things that soybeans will do with this kind of heat stress, it'll speed to maturity faster. With any crop, the longer grain fill period you have, the better. If you can prolong that, that allows everything to, produce bigger beans. And the soybean crop needs that to add yield also. So I think we gave some away this week in beans. I do think it'll get us to maturity a few days faster, which never is beneficial for yield production. On the corn, the heat probably affects the corn more, especially at night. Obviously, we were, anything above 86 degrees for daytime highs is stressful on corn, and we were a long ways above that several days this week, or most of the week really. But what also hurts is those overnight lows being quite high. Anything above 70 degrees probably is stressful on that corn, so we had a lot of stress during the day, but we never really got it to cool down enough at night to really let it relax a little. So thinking about the way a corn plant develops, that corn is capturing sunlight energy, solar radiation all day. It doesn't really grow during the day, it's capturing energy, but it tries to grow at night utilizing that energy. When it has to cool itself down by transpiring at night when it's not getting cool enough, that's using energy that should be going into producing more grain. It's using that energy to cool itself off, so that's never a good thing for yield. The discussion or the data would say, university data would say, we're kind of at, most of this corn's probably at R5, it's at a dent stage. Severe stress at that stage, you probably could lose 3% of yield per day of that kind of stress. So this wasn't a good week when it come to that. Did we have the ultimate severe stress? Well, if we wouldn't have had that decent rain earlier, it would have been worse, but we still lost, you'd have to think, a couple percent per day of this severe stress heat. The other problem that I see, and I've mentioned it several different times this summer, I've been concerned all summer about the quality of our stalks. We're cannibalizing a lot of this, season during the growing season with our stalks. I think that's going to continue with the stresses we've had. I'm just concerned that our stalk quality is going to degrade rather rapidly this fall. So you need to be aware of that going forward, that we don't have, corn crop that surprises us and lodges before we get out there. We need to be watching it and maybe harvest earlier because of it. We'll track that here the next month and see what happens, but that's what I suspect could be going on. I guess the only bright side that I see with this kind of weather, it was area-wide. This heat was kind of through the Midwest, and I think the grain markets will help us out there when it comes down to it. But yeah, we lost some yield this week, and it's unfortunate, but again, there's nothing we could do to help it. It's just Mother Nature. But with that, that's this week's Field Friday segment, and we'll see you next week.